Good morning guys, how are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing the like button, and we will go straight over to those charts. Yeah, well, actually, I was going to go to Bitcoin, but yeah, dollar index first, because I think this is basically the driver of what is going on here. This move up here in the dollar index is what has put Bitcoin under the pressure it's been under recently. Well, this move down in the dollar index is what has basically lit the fire under Bitcoin recently and got it going up. But yeah, so obviously if we start to make a move down from this point here, which we may very well do, then yeah, that could basically spur Bitcoin onto basically its highs, recent highs, and beyond. Obviously if we come down lower and lower down to this 88 region target that I've got. Obviously we are not in the clear yet. This has obviously met a very important trend line. And the dollar index, as you can see, this trend line we've got coming in, well, yeah, from here down to here. So yeah, we've met this trend line. So obviously you would expect a retrace of sorts at this trend line. So it is now a case of, do we test it again and get rejected and come back down? Do we just come back down? Do we test it again and do we break up? They're pretty much the three options. Obviously a test of it again could coincide with this horizontal also, which could be a double whammy of resistance. But realistically, if we're going to have the better chance of this coming down and Bitcoin going up, realistically we want this to sort of be a swing failure above this horizontal. We're now moving down and we just keep moving down. We don't really want to be playing around with this level, this trend line again, or this horizontal, just purely on the basis it just makes it more likely it could break to the upside. But yeah, but obviously if that happens, and we'll just have to trade accordingly. But my macro view on the dollar is it's coming down, which is why obviously my macro view on Bitcoin is it's going up and commodities going up, etc., and stock market's going up. So yeah, that's pretty much the dollar. So let's go over to actual Bitcoin. What I'm sure you guys came over here to see. So yeah, you can see we are putting in a potential bottoming formation of sorts. Yeah, you can see we got up to the 4-hour 9, slightly front around there. Still struggling really to get above and hold above this next level, 10,400. Obviously we cleared the 10,300, well, cleared it, got rejected and then got back up, and at the moment we've held it. Look like we are potentially back testing it now, maybe even back testing this downward trend line as well that we've broken out of. So again, that puts Bitcoin at a level now where it needs to well, keep going back up, because if it doesn't, then this also looks like a swing failure out of this triangle. And yeah, I mean, or we could just not be in a descending triangle, and in which case we'll just be filling out this this box area. But yeah, I mean, realistically we do want to bounce off this and move up. Clearly, obviously that is what we want. And then you could say the 4-hour 9, just the exhaustion of this move on the shorter 4-hour time frame is why we're having this bit of a pullback. But yeah, like I said, we're at a point we don't really want to break it much lower than this. We want this to turn around and keep going back up. So yeah, let's have a look at some of the other time frames. The daily just price flipping around here. Not say price flipping as in like TD number flipping, as in pre-TD number flipping here. Also at the moment, obviously the 12-hour candle is not too far away from closing, and these are pretty indecision stroke bearish looking candles here. You can see the trend line here on the 12-hour. Obviously we haven't closed above it, we've wicked above, come back down, and then we also touched that level and come back down. So that is looking pretty bearish, I would say. And you would look at this and think, okay, if we get continuation, if we close anywhere around here on this candle, and then we start to trade below, then yeah, we are looking for a test at the bottom, and then you would then guess a test at the bottom has a good chance of breaking below. So well, yeah, we are at a critical point here. We are at a critical point in this. Are we going to get a reversal, or are we going to get a continuation? Let's have a look at those stochastics, see if they help us. Obviously we know that we were looking at the 12-hour daily and the 2-day potentially help us out. 4-hour is, yeah, 4-hour looking like it maybe wants to come back down a little bit, which yeah, it's potentially well, partly why we are moving down. Obviously we nearly had that 4 hour 9. 10 hour 10 hour still looking okay though. 10 hour moving up and looking to get into that bullish zone. So this could, this obviously longer time frame could help obviously Bitcoin get picked up at that level like we are looking at. But we are wanting to get picked up basically where we are now. And get back above 10,300, consolidate above there, and then move up to 10,000, 10.4 and beyond. 12 hour looking like it's starting to turn up as well. We do need to get a bit more. This does need to get going a bit more, but typically 12 hour is one of the best ones to follow. It got all this move down, it's got these moves up, and if we start to move up again and start to get any sort of traction, then I think this will drag Bitcoin up. This will drag Bitcoin up to, well, if it gets up to around here, it'll drag Bitcoin up to about 10,000, probably about 10,500, 10,600, and if we get all the way to the top, we will probably be about 11k. Daily there or thereabouts, not sort of turn back up, turn back down now, looking at turning back up when eventually it does. I mean, if 12 hour gets going, daily and price action gets going, daily will get going, and then we'll have that aligned as well. So we'll have 12 hour and daily aligned, which will be good. And I mean, obviously ultimately that'll feed through to 2-day, which will obviously be good, and then hopefully arrest the downtrend in the 3-day, and overall we may then be lining up with quite a lot of momentum on these stochastics to really get Bitcoin up to this 11,000 region, and potentially beyond. So obviously, as we know, a lot of it will depend on the dollar, which has obviously been weakening. Gold and silver are reacting to that too. Silver back above 27, gold 1946s, 1950s, around that region. So and stock market's not looking too bad either. We will have a look at the final piece of this puzzle. We'll look at the SPX first. As you guys know, we were looking at this trend line. We obviously hit that one. We hit this level. We're still getting rejected by this trend line. We have been pushed below this level, which I don't particularly like. But as long as we put in some sort of a higher low, anywhere between, well, anywhere in here really, because there's a low, but realistically above this level, any high low where we are or higher, then I think we then got a good chance of breaking this. Or you crazy inverted head and shoulders, spotters, we'll probably be looking at this as a potential inverted head and shoulders. I can see this a lot more clearly than I could see anything. Let's go to the 4 hour. Any sort of inverted head and shoulders here in Bitcoin. Shoulder, what is that? Shoulder head. I mean, this for a start, this comes lower than any of these points, but on a closing basis I guess it doesn't, but then it comes lower than this on a closing basis. Anyway, we've already discussed that, but anyway, what I'm saying is this looks like a more clear inverted head and shoulders. So yeah, if we basically, this trend line is clearly important, then take out this trend line, then yeah, we have all this range to play in. Not saying we'll get back to the highs, but I would say we'll get to somewhere in this region. I mean, this does look like a nice target. I will draw this in as a target. So above this trend line, we are potentially looking at somewhere into here basically, and then obviously deciding, are we going to reject from there? I mean, form another higher low, and then break through, or just break through, or whatever. But I mean, I'd expect some sort of reaction at this level if we get there. Yeah. Back to Bitcoin, back to the 4 hour. Let's have a look at the 1 hour just for a change. Yeah, there's not really a lot to read here. I mean, like I said, we're in. You can see the horizontal level, sort of, which is the level we're at basically now. You can see this sort of historical confluence at this level all the way along. We probably want to hold this level. We definitely don't want to lose this level, and clearly it's the level of this trend line also. So this is a spot. Guys. To be honest, this is the spot where you could buy Bitcoin, just have your stop just below it, and is a quite nice, easy risk, easy to manage risk, easy risk to manage trade, easy a trade to easily manage your risk. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I mean, that is it really, guys. Yeah, again, I mean, we are looking better. Obviously, we are looking better. We're starting to starting to turn some of those oscillators back up, which is what we want to see. We haven't broken below this 10,000 level. Dollar starting to turn back down. Stock market's looking to have found their footing. Gold and silver looking like they are on the mend. Yeah, things are looking good, guys. Things are looking good. Things are looking a lot better. Things will be looking good, obviously, when stocks are basically a bit higher than that level we looked at when Bitcoin's above 10,600. Well, when silver's 28, that'll be looking incredibly good for silver because it hasn't spent a lot of time over 28, and then gold back above 2,000. I think literally we will be back to business as usual if all that happens. So yeah, things are looking better. I wouldn't say they're necessarily looking good yet, but we are on the way. They've got to look better before they can look good. So yeah, let's hope that is what is happening. So yeah, there we go, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. We're not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I will speak to you guys later on today.